In my work, which has been primarily in environmental policy and politics and also business, what you're saying really hits home with me, because in the political arena, the mode of the day is polarization.
Mm-hmm.
And the more polarized it is, the better it is.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's how it operates.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of going to higher ground
Mm-hmm.
and finding out, figuring out, let's take political candidates, political candidacies, and instead of defining one's candidacy by the problems, define a candidacy by the solutions.
Mm-hmm.
Meet with your opponent and come to high ground, common ground, and then go from there and focus here instead of on each other.
That would be wonderful.
So my work has been, I have been in business as usual as politics,
Mm-hmm.
and I have been in business as usual in environmental policy, and I am have slowly been retreating from doing business as usual, but also staying in the arena, if you will. Because one of the things that I think has to happen is we need to shift, and you touched on it, from a self-centered consciousness of a separate, instead of apart, apart from, we consider ourselves apart from instead of a part of. So we have to shift from a self-centered consciousness to a whole-centered consciousness. And in my work, I believe that nature and our relationship with nature is the birth canal to that process. And as we treat the earth, we treat ourselves. And so goes the earth, so goes us. And by destroying, I believe that by the way we respond to, or our relationship, all of this, what we're talking about, I think, is right relationship.
Exactly.
Righting the relationships. And what you're, the three realities that you're talking about, what Native Americans are talking about, it's all about right relationship with our own being, with other beings, with what the one force or whatever one wants to call it. Einstein, who's one of my heroes, there's many fine quotes from him, but one is, you cannot shift, and I want to get into how does what we're talking about really relate to the woman in the ghetto with 6 kids, or the guy who's going to the assembly line every day, or someone who rides the subway every single morning into New York City, goes into an office under fluorescent lights, turns around and goes home. How do these people embrace some of these concepts and understand them and start living them day by day? What can we, what can we share with them?
Well, one thing that I've done with Friends of Earth people in bringing people forward, and why I put this together, was I think that if we can get the information to these people that the reality that we think is real is not real, that isn't the only game in town. See, right now, we think this is the only game in town. We've got to send our kids into the school system because it's the only game in town. Well, no, it's not true. And that's why we're all here, because we've got some concrete answers to the fact that this is an illusion. It is not, there isn't a choice besides showing up for this. And the Native American people, in their essence, see, they've been grabbed by this seedy mentality and put in schools and taken out of their traditional ways of thinking in a lot of ways, so that a lot of them are enmeshed in this too. But in their essence, they know it's a loving universe. They know not to hoard. The giveaway is at the essence of, you go to the Hopi Reservation at a dance, they'll be throwing things off the rooftop. That's a symbol of, hey, forget hoarding, You're not going to get, it's just messing up the works. And when we came to this country, way back when, and we came upon the Hopi Indian Reservation, they had no crime. Crime is not a given. We accept it as a given. It's human nature. That's not true. As soon as we understand the abundant, loving nature of the universe and walk into trust, there is no need, and start sharing and giving, there's no need because everything is here. Whoever needs whatever is going to come to them, and it's all very
Well, you know,
magnificent.
that's a good example of a shift in well, it's a shift in heart, and it's a shift in action, actually. And there are cultures in South America. I've done some work in Brazil, and there are some native cultures there that your status within the tribe is not by how much you accumulate, it's by how much you give away.
Right.
So the whole coin is flipped on what is poverty. Where does poverty come from? Poverty comes from the CD mode.
Our belief
It comes
in it.
from the
Our
mind.
belief in wealth.
You believe in
Creates
exactly
poverty.
our perception of, or our belief in what is wealth.
The other idea that comes into my mind when you say that is because of our material, or that we're so materialistic that we think that everything outside of us will make us happy, and therefore it's always me and what's outside of me, and we're always trying to get either somebody or something or some more money or a bigger house or something to satisfy or make us happy. And the true joy is really something that we all have within us. It's our divine gift. It's already there. It's a reality that has nothing to do with material things. And once you find that joy, it really doesn't matter what you have, because that joy is so beyond the things that we thought could make us happy, that joy feels so much more that we no longer even need to feel that we have to work and get and hoard and keep, because the stuff no longer is where you get your fulfillment.
Well, when we shifted as humanity, I think there were a couple major shifts with humanity. One was first agriculture, where hoarding started to take place, and then of course the Industrial Revolution just sort of put the nail on the coffin on that one. And the next shift was the Greeks, who put man as the center of the universe, not God. And so we've been operating under and then Christianity and a creation myth that also put man in a separate relationship with God through the translations and the dialogues that a lot of us have been raised with.